comment in my previous video before, like, hey, how is it recruiting for tech with people under 2 years of experience? And MBA now is very different from MBA before, 25 years ago. Hello friends, welcome back. Let's talk MBA. First year. I just finished my first year and I'm going to my second year, and there are a lot of things that I sort of wish I knew before going to an MBA or before starting my first year, etc., since school's about to start. So I thought I'd put a quick summary together. Number one, everything costs. Like, I know people know MBAs are expensive, but what I didn't know was how much the events cost and how many events that you go to just because everybody's going to them, that you sort of just have to bite the bullet and spend the money. That I didn't expect and that I didn't know, because for undergrad, when you pay for tuition or housing or anything, all you're paying for is what you know you're paying for, and everything else extracurricular is just up to you. But in an MBA, it's like, these are the events that you're supposed to be going to because it's socializing, and that's the main point of it, like networking. So if you dip out on going to these events, like, you're not really showing your face, you're not really meeting people. And obviously you can dip out totally fine. Like, I skipped to the spring formal or whatever, but that's after 6-7 months of going out and at every single event and really paying the big bucks for it. Like, winter gala was $100 for what? I didn't drink. It was open bar, but I didn't drink. And the food was Michelin star catering, but also, like, I could have done Chipotle catering. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I just feel like an MBA is extravagant in and of itself, and you should be prepared and be aware of how much everything else adds up. Especially people want to go out to dinners, fancy dinner parties. There are a lot of things that just add up. Number two, you can plan all you want, but you'll very likely change your mind just because the things that you're getting exposed to. FOMO, what group herd mentality, you know. Doing an MBA is part of self-exploration and furthering your career, life aspirations, but they change. They really do, especially in an environment like this. I came in very clear about not wanting to do consulting and banking, but don't get me wrong, when everybody was recruiting for consulting, there were a few moments early on where I was like, should I be doing this? I think what's most important is to figure out what you don't want, so you can stick to those despite the group doing it or people influencing you or what your friends are doing. I think it's really important to do some self-reflection before going to do an MBA. Ultimately, I didn't. And it came in really wanting to do like PM or like corporate strategy, but ultimately found PMM role at Adobe, as many of you know. So you can plan all you want, and you should plan, but always be flexible to what other things may come up. And I'm really glad I talked to as many people as I did and wrote down specifically what I didn't want to do. I've talked about this in previous videos just because I talked to a lot of people before coming into booth, knew that I definitely did not want to do banking as lucrative as that career is. I just know. Consulting I went back and forth on, but ultimately I'm glad I stuck to my initial goals, even though it sort of wavered a little bit. Number three, work experience is valuable. I came in with 2 years of experience because I did the 2+2 deferred program, Booth Scholars. And there was a comment in my previous video before asking, like, hey, how is it recruiting for tech with people under 2 years of experience or consulting? I can't speak to consulting because I didn't recruit for consulting, but in the fall, I promise I will get you that video of interviewing Booth Scholars who pivoted into consulting. But from a tech perspective, it truly is much harder to recruit if you don't have the work experience. I believe the average work experience is 4 years, so I was shy by half. And so what I really struggled was even getting interviews, just to be fully transparent. The fall quarter was a lot of resume drops. I will do a full recruiting timeline of tech video like next week or in a couple of weeks. But I truly think I landed this role because of how niche my interests were of video making, and it's Adobe. Like, it just kind of came together as like the perfect role for me. It was a pretty tough recruiting process, the market as well. But being under 2 years, I think what you have to do is to really pick out the niche stories that make you stand out. It can't be like something general that everybody can talk about, or like soft skills. For me, I did bring in a lot of experience and perspectives in terms of the video realm, just because my work experience is only 2 years, my video experience and editing and learning and understanding the industry landscapes and the competitors out there was like a 9-10 year process. So I think that had definitely helped in terms of me getting this role because I already understood the industry so well, like the technical background knowledge, you know? So I think if you can find a niche of that, plus if you've known something for so long, it's probably your passion as well, so the role probably will fit you pretty well. I think that would just be my quick advice for the recruiting part. And before doing your MBA, truly start sharpening your resumes, start thinking about stories that you can tell, or honestly, even before you start MBA, I think it's always super helpful to jot down stories as you encounter them for interview prep. So when you're working, I'm sure conflicts come up or good things that you did, organization, etc. Just write those down real quick because you will forget when you try to think about them years later. So that will also simplify your recruiting process because I've been doing that this summer and hopefully that'll help. Last one, I will leave you with this last tidbit. Truly write down what you want to focus on in your MBA. Be really clear about what you came here to do, whether it's networking, whether it's grades, whether it's whatever it is. Write it down because it will get lost in the weeds and of the whole chaos. It will. Trust me. I have a spine injury problem and I neglected it because of how much I wanted to participate in socializing and whatever, that health completely fell off the grid in fall quarter and my back started hurting really badly. So winter quarter, then I reprioritized health and fitness and everything. So like whatever is important to you, you definitely have to make time for it because it'll be so easy to have it being sucked into the void. So truly, study, sleep, socializing, these are the 3 S's that we often talk about that you can only focus on 2 per quarter, and that's very much true. All 3 quarters, I tried sacrificing a different one. So first quarter, I sacrificed on sleep. Did not go well because if you're in such a closed confinement like group of people, it will go around and you will get sick. It's called the booth cough or the booth plague or whatever we call it. So definitely I don't suggest deprioritizing sleep, but people do it. Second quarter, I deprioritized social, which was perfect because Chicago is cold as it's so cold that I think everybody just kind of stayed in or like in close quarters. Spring quarter, I just neglected study, unfortunately, so much because of Battle of the Bands and just and I prioritized sleep. I got 8 hours every night in the spring quarter, and that really helped my mood and my mental health and everything. Spring quarter, I kind of kept to my own friend groups, which I will have to get out of my comfort zone for the fall. But really think about what's important to you, write it down, plaster it on a wall, whatever, so you can see and remind yourself that this is what you came here to do, this is what you're focusing on, and what are the non-negotiables that you're not giving up. So I think that's what I would give people who are coming to their MBA for the first year or thinking about doing an MBA. Ooh, actually, last thing. An MBA now is very different from MBA before. MBA tracks from what, like 20, 25 years ago? They level you up to like the C-suites or whatever, I don't know. But right now an MBA is very much different, so you really have to evaluate what you're getting out of it. It's not as flashy or necessary as before to climb the corporate ladder or elevate your career or pivot, etc. I do think it's great in helping you pivot because a school name just gets you into doors, and that's like the first step, and that's just super helpful for me especially, so I don't regret it one bit. But you really have to evaluate. It is a big cost. It is a time sacrifice, opportunity cost of 2 years. So yeah, if you have any questions regarding MBA in general or Chicago Boost, or what you would like to know more about, I have a lot of friends that I can interview or I can share more about my perspective, etc. I want to say thank you all for sticking with me. We just hit 1,500 subscribers like earlier this month or like later last month, whatever. So I appreciate you all for sticking around and the support. It means a lot. And summer is winding down. It's August. Maybe I'll start a thing called Vlogust as Europe comes around. But I will see you in the next video. Love you guys. Bye.